So I'd mentioned that, well, just over 20 years ago, I was involved in one of the first online research panels, a global research panel. And at that time, the software, online survey software, was just barely barely available. And we had partnered with a company out of Seattle, Rausoft, who had been contracted by the U.S. military and U.S. government to develop software, survey software, that they could survey all of the members of the military or their armed forces globally. It used to take paper, and it used to take an entire year to do this survey. Rausoft was able to, due to the software that they designed for the government and the military, be able to cut down the time to something like 3 months from beginning to end. That efficient, that effective. Since then, huge, as we all know, in the past 20 years, huge changes within online everything. Now the surveys that we're able to design can easily incorporate everything from static images to videos, full motion, full sound, etc. There's a lot of times that when we're designing questionnaires, there's a volume of information in there that we need to present to the respondents. Again, how do we get insights from the respondents? Well, we make them insightful, and we do that by providing clear information, clear knowledge during the survey so that they can evaluate it and provide the insights back in the questions that we ask. So now, as part of online survey research, there's a lot of CSS coding, a lot of HTML coding to customize the look and the feel of a survey, almost to the point that one might think that they're going through maybe a video game, or they're going through a website rather than a survey. It's no longer just this, here's a question and here's a whole bunch of radio buttons, or here's a question and here's a slider. There's a lot of different things that can be done, and that is one of the value adds that we bring to the table, that we're not just using some off-the-shelf software like SurveyMonkey or Question Pro or whatever the software that we use. Most people have seen the back end of it and they go, oh no, it's too complicated, too complex, and it's merely because it's extremely sophisticated, and it gives us the leeway to do things that most software isn't able to do. So again, it's do it yourself, or have a professional with subject matter expertise and an understanding of research best practices help you complete the survey research that you need in order to get the results you're looking for, so that you can ensure the project that you're working on is successful and the corporate report is clearly understood. There's great community engagement, great community support for the project, and it gets passed in the end, because the work on the survey research side has been top-notch. So those are some of the things that we bring to the table, and enjoy pushing the boundaries of that. We sometimes end up talking to client partners who have worked really hard to design a survey, and while we'll say it's a bit of an art and a bit of a science putting together a proper survey, there's some planners that are quite good at it, no question about it. But there's always areas in each survey that we look at where we can tweak things here and there to just improve it just a little bit, so that in the end it's more successful, more people complete it, and so on. It's one of the main things that we focus on, is not only the accuracy and the understanding, the common understanding of all the questions, but understanding the entire process. So when we're talking to client partners and we're saying, hey, let's talk about exactly what you're going to put in your newspaper ad to promote it, or on your website to promote the survey, or let's review the language we're going to use in the email invitation to complete the survey, they're a little amazed by how much attention we give to those aspects of a survey. They often think that we're just going to come in and help them design the questionnaire and program it, but we get heavily involved in the communication side as well. Because to us, ultimately, what we're doing is we're building this one-time use product, and we have to sell this product to individual residents for them to buy it, for them, first of all, to be aware of it, for them to get interested in it, for them to have a desire to actually participate in it, and then for them to take action and complete the survey. So there's a lot of pretty involved thoughts and best practices involved in ensuring that not only can you design and deliver a great survey, a great questionnaire, but that you're able to, in the most efficient, effective manner possible, bring as many residents through the entire survey and have them complete it. You know, when there's opportunity and when it's appropriate, we'll often have survey contests, contests for $50 Visa gift card, or sometimes, a $500 Visa gift card. It's a really big project and it's a big community. And so rather than just saying it right at the beginning, we say it at the beginning. We ask people if they want to complete the contest entry form, which is always at the end of the survey. And then throughout the survey, depending upon the length of the survey, we'll actually just put in a little reminder, and we might even have a little image of a $500 Visa gift card, because that in itself helps to not push but pull respondents, pull residents through and complete the survey. So again, a prize draw is maybe 5 to 10% more respondents, but they actually get through to the end. It's a whole bunch of other things that we also do that is key. It's not just prize draw, but it's all the language all the way through. It's we see more and more municipalities using various software tools where they will direct all of the people, all of the residents, to a project page, and here's everything you need to know about the project, and then at the bottom, here's the survey button. Well, quite frankly, when you look at the number of people that land on that page, because they're all have Google Analytics or analytics of some sort, you see a huge number of people landing on the page, but because the survey button is always way at the bottom and people have read it, they've already spent maybe 15, 20 minutes and so on, they don't click the survey button. So it's great, you've informed residents, but maybe you've engaged them, but have you gotten any insight from them? No, it's great to inform, but it's even better when you get the insights, because then you can make some solid decisions and you have the evidence as part of the corporate report to actually get that project through support with mayor and council, which is ultimately, I think, what we're all focused on doing in the end. Otherwise, what's the point of taking on the project in the first place? So when we see things like that, we sit down and we talk to the client and say, well, really, yes, it's important for people to know background on the project, but let's not overload them with too much information right up front. And so if you've seen any of the surveys that we design, there may be a paragraph on the first page that introduces the subject to residents. And then throughout the survey, we introduce knowledge when it's required for a resident to respond to a certain question. So if we're talking about housing, rezoning for residential housing or whatever, we're not going to have 2 or 3 pages of upfront, here's an image of a low rise, here's an image of a medium rise, and single family, and so on. We'll do that when it's appropriate and just before we're going to ask questions on that. So it's much like telling a story. We're engaging them, we're telling them a story, they're learning as they're going through it, which residents, in fact, any of us really appreciate, being told and being taught something. That's one of the key ways of engaging people and building trust, because you're open about what you're talking about, you're informing people, you're not just simply blindly asking them, so do you support this initiative? Do you support this rezoning? Well, tell me more about it. And so we really focus on making sure that the respondents are as well educated as possible and that they have the information that they need in order to answer the question appropriately, with confidence, and with a great deal of insight that they can provide to you. And that comes back in not only the completeness of the data, because they go all the way through the survey, but it also comes back in the verbatim comments that they provide, which you know, when you're doing a survey and you have 500 to 1,500, maybe 2,000 responses, those verbatim comments can get pretty lengthy, and it's a pretty onerous process to go through and analyze those. We do that, of course, for clients as well. But the richness of the insights in those verbatim comments is amazing. And yes, I'm a researcher. I love doing this stuff and I get excited about it. But we also encourage all of our client partners to sit down and read those verbatim comments, because if they want to, in a matter of an hour or 2 hours, really understand the thinking that their residents have about various subjects, that's one of the best, most efficient ways you can do that. It's, you know, imagine if you survey 1,000 people and you read all of these comments that are written down and you see the closed-end responses to various levels of support for an initiative. Imagine trying to go out on the street, you know, post-COVID, of course, going on the street and talking to 1,000 people to get their feedback, to get their insights. It would take you weeks, but again, we can deliver that in a matter of days if you have an online research panel, or even if you don't, even if you know the secrets behind how to best communicate with potential respondents and actually draw them into the questionnaire and take them all the way through, so that you're getting a complete picture of what their thoughts and feelings and levels of support are for that program or project. So, you know, again, going back to this notion of what does the W group do, there's a lot of various things that we do within survey research itself. We support municipalities by helping them design, deliver, and execute great community surveys. We help communities build research capacity by developing online research panels. We help them develop their own best practices around community engagement, so that we're building capacity not only in terms of the database, the online research panel, but also capacity with their various planners and managers who do public consultation on a regular basis, because we're educating them about research best practices, we're educating them about political sensitivities, we're educating them about municipal ease, and ensuring that you're speaking to the residents in a manner that the residents can clearly understand and respond in kind with appropriate insights. And that through the whole process, you're actually building the trust factor between residents and the community, because ultimately, every time you have interaction with the residents, if you're building that trust, the community is going to be far better off in the long run, because residents will be more engaged in what the community is doing, more willing to volunteer and help out and participate, and so on. So again, comes back to the quality of life, that we can make a huge impact on quality of life by the work that we do and how we support our client partners.